Hey, God.
Hey, guys.
My puberty's coming in. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Audio works.
The one time. I've been talking.
Good.
That was a catch.
Yeah. Your true self.
Yeah, the frog from we're running downhill.
I was gonna say,
TV, wonderful.
that gator got my goat. In any case, so welcome to Springfield Leather Live. Tony is feeling jazzy today with his SLC cuffs. You going for a jog later?
Oh, and dude, how cute.
Things are getting crazy up in here. Well, welcome everybody to our live. We're going to show you how to set things, and as Dean said, it's going to be riveting.
It's a riveting. It's pretty snappy.
It's snappy and riveting. So we're just going to go through. This is kind of just basics, how to use hardware today. Hardware that you can set.
Are we trying to say that we're making a connection with people?
We're gonna
connection. That's good.
Holy moly.
Oh.
They're just going to keep coming.
Yes.
You know, the end of the year is here, and I think we've all kind of lost our marbles just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a little crazy. So, all right, Denny, you want to start with the most simple, which I think is a rivet?
Yeah, let's do a double cap rivet.
All right.
And double cap rivets come in several sizes.
They do. They come from an extra small to an extra large.
Yes, and I think I have probably one of each.
Almost.
Maybe not, but
That one definitely is an extra large. I packaged those yesterday.
Yeah.
Hold on, folks. We're going to zoom.
Let's just
Look at us go.
Let's just set a rivet in this single piece of vegetable tan leather.
Let's talk about...
Maybe let's get there. Before we set it, why would you use it?
To fasten, rivet two pieces of leather together. Leather together, yes.
We're putting leather together. So, like, say you're needing to fasten the strap onto the bag of your purse. You might use a rivet for that instead of sewing it. Let's see, our double cap rivets they are a good connector. They are not the strongest connector. If you are using them maybe for the handle of a bag, if it's let's see, if you have a small purse, a rivet or two on each strap is probably going to be perfectly sufficient to hold everything together. It's not going to come apart.
I'll say this, if you get them set properly, they work pretty good.
That is correct.
If you have a piece of leather that's a little bit, or two pieces of leather that are a little too thick or a little too thin, that's when you have problems.
Well, and that's the whole point. So there are so many sizes because you need to have just a little bit of excess in the rivet height compared to the thickness of the materials that you're putting together. And so I always tell people rivets are pretty darn cheap. If you're going to be, if you're going to be riveting things together, go ahead and buy 100 pack of all the sizes and the different finishes that you use. That way you have the right rivet for the right purpose. These double cap rivets, on the very end of them, they have like a little pinch that kind of will hold the cap on.
Yeah, a little dimple.
Yeah, a little dimple at the end of the post. You don't really want to grind double cap rivets off to make them shorter like you can with a snap post. And so you really want just a little bit of excess, not very much at all, like maybe a 1/16 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch if you're...
A 1/16 is perfect.
A 1/16 of an inch is really, the amount of excess that you want.
Hold one up there, Denny, so we can see.
Because otherwise you'll get it, and you also, whenever you go to set these, you want to make sure
right there
that the hole that you punch in your leather is pretty darn snug on the post. You don't want an oversized hole because then that can encourage the rivet to move as you set it. If you have too much room inside that hole where the post is coming through, and you go to set it, sometimes you can offset the cap and the head of the post, and then you don't have an even set. So as tight of a hole as you can manage.
And not too much hanging out, otherwise you'll get the shift over.
Correct. So buy all the sizes of rivets that you might need. You know, they're all just very slightly different. The smalls and the extra smalls have approximately the same size cap. There might be a slight difference there. And then the mediums and the larges also have a very similar size cap. Your just post length is, I think, maybe about a 1/16 of an inch. It's pretty small, but it is important. And then you have the extra large, which I think has a little bit of a bigger cap than the large and the medium, but it has like a 1/2 inch long post.
In comparison to some of the other fasteners, how permanent would you say this is?
This is a permanent.
They're very permanent.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, if you get them set good, they're very permanent. They work well.
I'm just gonna like, if you're putting a laptop bag together and you're anticipating somebody putting like a 5 to 8 pound laptop, maybe some books in a bag, this maybe isn't the fastener that I would prefer. I might use a copper rivet in that situation, or sew it together, which will be a little bit sturdier. Or if you're making this for a dog lead and you feel like it's possible you might have a dog that is rather aggressive and super likes to pull, maybe a double cap rivet, maybe you need to move on to a rivet and burr situation.
With a burr for a dog lead.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you can all see this, but this is sticking through 2 pieces of leather, just probably a 32nd of an inch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set this, and this is a size small.
All right.
I'm gonna set this and see how it works. And by the way, there's 2 ways you can set a rivet, a double cap rivet. You can use a double cap rivet setter,
which is just a post with a little bit of dome on it. And there's an extra small rivet setter, which is probably what you want for what.
Yeah.
So there's 2 different.
But I'm actually not going to use it on this rivet.
Okay.
This.
We are right there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the one that I would use for this size because it just barely fits over the cap. But the way I like to set them is just with a hammer.
Just smash them flat.
I don't like to mash them flat. It takes the dome out of it.
Out there on retail talking to customers, they're like, do I need a setter for this? And I said, do you care if it's flat? Well, no, not really. I said, good, that's how I like it too. Just mash it flat.
Yeah.
But let's see how good this is. Not very.
Not very. So that was a small going through.
Yeah, let me go to...
Hold on. So we were attempting to go through a lot of leather. 17.5 ounces.
Let's try a medium.
Now, the advantage of this over the one that Denny would use for making saddles, with the copper rivets and the washer, and these are really easy to use.
Correct. Yeah, this is a much simpler. All you have to do is punch a hole and have a hammer to use a double cap rivet. You can also, there's also a very similar option to this, and it's called a single cap rivet, and that's just, there's no cap on the post. You just have the cap that goes onto the top. So say that you are lining something and the back of the rivet isn't going to be seen, or you're gluing 2 pieces together and you don't want that extra material underneath to where it's gonna show. A single cap rivet is a nice solution in those. They work the same way. You've got a cap on one side, but the post is just kind of open and flat so that, you can house it between 2 pieces of leather and it won't cause a bump on the other side.
Right.
But they work the same. We don't have those today.
Okay. Now this is a medium size rivet, and I'm going to set it the same way.
That's pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. And it was sticking through approximately a 1/16 of an inch.
Okay.
The other one was just barely flush with the top. So you want it to stick through a little bit, but not a lot.
Like really about about where that little pinch is at the end is like a good, if you've got that pinch sitting up outside of your leather to where that cap is going to snap onto the pinch, I think that's pretty good. You know, kind of look at what you got going on there.
Okay, I'm going to set this with the setter now, so you can see what it looks like with the dome still with us.
In case you're wondering where William is in the chat.
Oh yeah, we got William
Chat's a little more local.
in house today.
Even more local than just being in Missouri.
Live studio audience.
Oh yeah, so you can kind of see how it looks different.
Yeah, the dome is still there. The dome is still there, and it sets it about the same way. And it's got pretty good strength there. The key is use the proper size rivet when you're using a double cap.
There's also, you can get a little anvil. So we have just our little rivet and snap anvil that's just a small circle. We also sell like a bar that comes with like, I think our all snap setting kit that has little divots in it. So if you also want the back, so like if the back is going to be prominent on the project or for whatever reason you also want the back domed, you can use those little anvils to keep a little bit of a dome on the back.
Or could you use it to set the dome on the front and just hammer it from the back?
You can, do that.
and that's a good point. Front and back look the same. You know,
That's
so
really
it
big
doesn't matter which side you set the rivet on.
Yeah,
because they're both going to look the same.
The double and the single cap.
right. The single is a one-directional rivet. The double cap, you can put it in however you want.
Usually, don't make the back side of the single cap visible.
Okay.
Moving on to what?
I don't know yet.
Okay, I'll wait patiently.
Okay, we were talking about the copper rivet and burrs, and we carry these in 3 different sizes.
We do.
We carry a size 9, which is a big heavy rivet. We carry a size 12, which is a medium size rivet, and we carry a size 14. And I don't believe we have an actual size 14 setter.
No,
but I do believe a size 12 setter will set them, and we're going to find that out here in just a minute.
So the size 14s are a little bit of a newer addition. These are, they emulate the rivets that you have on your jeans. So when we were talking to Ivan and we brought these on, like this is what they're supposed to be, is the little jean rivets that you have on like all of your pocket connections. That is the size of the 14s. They're a little bit lighter duty than the rest of them, and that's the only one that comes in a nickel finish.
Yeah, I think the small size is just for that, because the ones that are on the jeans are actually cap.
Yeah. And so you've got...
These are actually aluminum.
Yes.
Yeah. Nickel finish, I don't know.
No,
So
I believe they're
bright
aluminum.
silver colored.
They do say aluminum.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are aluminum. Brass and then copper.
Yeah. So the 9 and the 12 come in brass and copper, and then your 14s come in an aluminum option.
What's the difference between, I know since we're still kind of a rivet, getting down with the single, the difference between that and a tubular rivet?
Oh, I'm going to show you a tubular rivet here in a minute.
All right, very good.
Let me get this out. Okay, let's start with the number 9, the big heavy rivet.
What size hole?
Whatever size the post is.
There you go.
This is a number 3 tube punch, Osborne tube punch.
Don't make it too wallered out.
Yeah, actually I need it.
I was going to say sometimes on these you want to punch it from the back the way that the rivet is going in, because whenever you punch a hole you've got like a chamfer, right? Like the punch gets wider as it goes in so it can release the hole that you're punching out of it. And so sometimes I like to punch my rivet holes from the back. That way I can push the rivet in, because sometimes that lip on the very back side of the leather where you punch the hole is smaller than anyways, and it makes it more difficult to
And it depends on which side you want to be the finished side.
Correct.
You know?
Well, if you're putting a thing over, a lot of times you can't see the other, like you just can't see the back.
Myself, this is the finished side. This is what I would always call the finished side.
Oh, okay.
But some people call this the finished side.
That is true.
Because they like the looks of that for some unknown reason. But they do.
let's see here. So the 9s and the 12s come in 3 different height rivets. And so what you guys need to know about the copper rivet and burr or the brass rivet and burr is that like you could buy the 1-inchers and you could use that for all your projects because you just trim off the excess on these. So you have to have
It's got to be over length.
correct. You have to have enough because you're going to drive the burr down onto the rivet and then you have to trim it off and then you're going to peen that over and literally create a barrier so that burr can't come off anymore. This is probably the strongest connection that you can have.
Yeah, this is definite.
And so you have to have a pair of cutters.
Nippers.
Yeah. So if you're going to do copper rivets and burrs, you have to have a nice pair of nippers. The bigger, the better.
Yeah, you can do it with small ones, but you have to get pretty serious about it.
Yeah, you're going to not like yourself if you have to set 32 of them in one tote.
Right.
Yeah, the big difference is if you're buying that longer one that you don't need that, and you're buying a 1 pound.
You're getting less rivets.
Yeah.
You're actually using money.
Correct. Yeah. So
with the saddle maker I used to work for, he had a little coffee can, and he would put all his little clipped off pieces in the coffee can.
I know Jim does that.
Take them and recycle.
When we were making totes, Jim just had cups of like the little ends, and I assumed he recycled them or maybe he melted them down into something.
Yeah.
But
copper is pretty pricey. Okay, and this is the setter.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Let's see here. Okay, it's got just a round hole, and then it's got a domed hole. So the first part I'm going to use is this round hole. The burr actually sets over the top of the rivet itself, and you put this on the hole right on that rivet, and drive it down flush. Okay, then I'm going to take these handy dandy nippers, and I don't want to cut right up against that rivet. I want to leave myself a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch.
Because you need enough material left so you can peen it so it's like cement itself with the burr.
If you see here about what I've got.
Yep.
That's about right, in my opinion. And I've said a lot of these. But then I'm going to use this dome part of the setter, and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to kind of twist around. And if you see the dome that I get out of that actually spreads it out and it mushrooms it over the top of this the burr, which is some people call it a washer, but it's the actual burr. And then the backside is just flat.
You got that real fancy tool from
I do have that real fancy tool, but I didn't bring it in here.
Well, that's okay. We don't sell it. What was it, like $100?
Yeah.
There's where you can dome this side out.
Yeah. But I use it. Pardon me?
Don't we have a domer?
No. You can use a domed rivet setter for domed cap rivets.
These are diamond nippers. Yeah. Where'd you get these, Denny? Probably
I've had those for
the hardware store.
30 years.
Lowe's will have them. Home Depot.
You probably have to go to some place they sell horseshoeing supplies.
Nah. We use those in construction too.
Yeah. So.
Where'd you buy them?
Lowe's or Home Depot.
I bet you can't buy a pair of those at Lowe's.
Well, look.
And these should work for the copper and the brass.
Yeah.
They'll work for either.
Porcelains.
The longer the handle on your nippers, the less work you have to do.
Yeah.
It's simple machine math.
Okay, that's a number 9.
Harbor Freight. Somebody said Harbor Freight. Yeah.
Now let's set a number 12. And I don't have any copper ones in the 12 size in here, but
Amazon,
the brass.
Tractor Supply.
Yeah, Tractor Supply would sell them. Race Brothers here in town sells them.
I think the thing just to think about with copper rivets is don't buy like the shortest one that you feel like you could get away with because you might actually make your life a little bit harder.
You want that extra leverage.
Well, and so if you like these, like the number 14s, those are really short. Like that's really, really short. So you need to be going through very, like maybe wallet corners. Like this would probably be a fun little add-on to a wallet corner to pinch where your top is. Just something that's going to be maybe like half the height of the post, Denny?
Yeah, as long as you have at least an eighth of an inch sticking out of the burr.
Do you
set
include the little part that's narrow?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, because you want to be able to make sure that you have enough length to drive that burr down onto and have it hold. Then while you go to peen it, I know I've seen some people that have tried to get, and so the tip of these.
It's tapered.
Yeah, thank you. They taper up here, and so if you come on. And so if your material is kind of up here to where it's tapered.
Cover up the metal, the steel. Yeah,
there you go. The burr may not sit down very well.
I'll show you another way I'll show you another way to peen them over.
Okay.
Right now.
To like get it set. So just.
Okay. For this number 12, I'm going to use a number 12 setter, and the main difference is the size of the hole, the original hole that you use.
Mm-hmm.
This hole right here.
Yeah, the head is.
I'm going to use.
The head is a smaller diameter, and then the post is less. I don't have a.
All right.
So this one's a number 9, and that's a number 12. So you can kind of see the difference in the girth of the post.
Okay, if I was real close here and didn't have a lot of material sticking out, if my rivet was a bit shorter than is ideal, I would just use a hammer.
Start the peening process.
And rivet it over. That's where the term rivet came from.
It's Denny the Riveter.
It's a riveting experience, I know. But anyway, that's a number 12. That's set pretty good. Let's try this little short number 14, see what happens. Because I bet you it will be just barely want to make it through these two pieces of
17.5 ounce leather.
Yeah. And the hole I punched is probably a bit too big, but that's the smallest punch that I brought in here, so it'll have to work.
Denny, how do you feel about your domer? Chevy says his seems to be just a teeny too small, and it's impossible to get an even dome.
Oh, mine works great, Chevy. You need to talk to Wayne Juski about that. All right, this is just barely sticking through. Right? And I'm going to use this number 12 rivet setter and see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's the 12 and 14 is the same.
All right, we gained a little bit of ground there.
we got a little bit coming through.
But I am.
And I will say, don't use your hammer that you use to hammer your leather for this. Have two different hammers.
That worked pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
When you actually drive that burr down over the post of that rivet, it will actually compress the leather a bit too, so you will gain a little bit in that respect.
Yeah. Those ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. But that is probably the most durable rivet that we sell, that anyone sells that I'm aware of.
I was going to say, you mostly see that on tack. Somebody was saying that they wanted some cool patina ones to use. Just take the copper and put some liver of sulfur on it, guys, and then it'll turn nice and green blue for you before you use it.
Yeah.
Or after. I don't actually know what liver of sulfur does to leather, so maybe test that first, but you can make it green.
Or just use it for a while, it'll turn green on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let me get rid of these. Kind of get them out of our way. All right, we've done double caps, we've done rivet and burrs. Let's do a tube rivet.
Okay.
Tony, Tony was wondering about tube rivets. Tube rivets are great. I never used to use double cap rivets till I came here because I didn't have them. But when I first started my shop at PFI, Larry was going to it used to be called the Western Wear and Equipment Show in Denver, but what do they call it now?
WESA, the Western Equine Sales
But
Association.
he was going and he said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I need some tube rivets." So he bought me about 4 different lengths of it, but he bought me like boxes of 5,000 each. So
you had those forever.
I never needed another rivet in my life. But anyway, I always used to use these. The only drawback is there's only one finished side.
Right.
You know, but
I have seen
they are very permanent. They are good rivets too.
Yeah, I think at Weaver you can buy a cap for them, and then there's a special tool. But you almost I think need a press to set that because I don't know if So on length, Denny, what are you looking at on length here?
You want to about the same as you would on a double cap rivet.
So
you want it to stick through a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8.
Okay.
Not much more than that.
Because this has to curl.
Yeah, this has to actually mushroom over, and we use what they call this is called a rivet peener. I call it a splash anvil because it actually splashes that rivet out.
Splash anvil, that's fun.
Yeah. But this is one that I use. I use this on line 20 and 24 snaps too sometimes. But if you see how that,
It's a cute little flower.
Yeah, and it's a permanent rivet. The thing that makes it the most permanent though is that right there.
Cover up the steel. There you go.
Freaking steel. So you peened it and then you just hammered it. That's flat.
You hammer it flat.
Well, because sometimes I think that that peen.
It's kind of rough.
It's kind of rough, but that is super smooth now.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's use the same rivet through a single. Yeah, and that's definite.
You turn your peens over and they just act as teeth to dig in that leather.
That one did kind of go cockeyed on you.
I know.
Let's try it.
And do it again.
Let me do this.
You got to be careful with our words.
I wasn't going to go there.
We use peen and cockeyed all together.
Gollywampus.
Yeah.
I have an aluminum chunk of I-beam for an anvil. Yeah, you don't want an aluminum anvil. That's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Get you a steel one.
You need a steel anvil.
Okay, this is, excuse me.
You're good.
This is quite a bit more sticking through. We'll see what happens with it. I'm just going to take it easy. Let me get on this piece of
Chevy.
steel. Well, it was too long.
Yeah.
That way,
I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can see it's off to the left just a little bit.
Yeah, so he kind of, the post, and you can see on the inside that the post goes that way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not, yeah. I wonder if you should take it a little gently.
A little gently.
Yeah, peen it.
Well, I was trying
Peen
to
it a little gently.
I was kind of trying to be gentle with it.
A lot of times that's what I tell people, like, well, especially with snap setting, because sometimes the snaps kind of just want to go. So I always have these big burly guys and they're just like, I want to set it all in one go. And I'm like, just be gentle with her. You need to roll the edge, not just pound it flat.
Yeah, and Ryan asked if tubular rivets are stronger than double cap.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, if you get them set right.
Correct.
And why is that?
Because when it mushrooms over the back, that mushroom, it can't come off. The double caps, what happens is the cap separates from the post. That's what makes them not quite as desirable.
Little super glue.
Yeah.
Maybe JB.
What do we got?
No.
I tried to be easy with it, Liz. I tried to be.
It does keep
Still
wanting to
okay.
go over to the.
Let's go with 2 pieces of
Now, do
this.
those also come in different length posts?
They do.
I don't think we only carry the one length now.
Okay.
So.
I was gonna say we don't move a lot of tubular rivets.
And this is a coated rivet. It's copper plated. It's not actual copper. The copper rivet will actually paint over easier.
That looks good. Yeah, that one came out really good. You can see like all the way through the hole to the cap, which is good. It's not bent over, and then the top is flush. So it seems like with these, you really want to have just a little bit on top, which means that you could grind it down. You know, like if you could take it to the grinder, hold it with a pair of pliers because it's gonna burn your fingers.
It's gonna get hot.
And you could grind it off a little bit until it's the right length that you need. I will typically see people use tubular rivets when they have a foot press. A lot of times then they're putting them, you know, whatever through a
They used to have the old Rex riveter,
Okay.
which was a hand deal.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen one of those in a long time. They're antiques now. Okay. We've gone through rivets.
And so, you didn't bring them in, but the last thing that kind of functions like a rivet, and Dean brought it up, is a Chicago screw. And so a Chicago screw is a screw post. So you got a post on one side that's hollow, and then you put a screw into it. And that is good. Like we use those for our conceal and carry belts. Anything that needs to be removable. So none of these options that we just showed you can you
easily.
Can you interchange things? Yes. And so a Chicago screw is a good option. So say a belt where you have somebody that might want to change out their buckle that they have on the belt. Or if you have like a strap that's adjustable and you punch multiple holes in it, you can use a Chicago screw so that those are then adjustable. Things like that. So something where the customer would need to take out that fixture.
They're more permanent than like a snap, like a 24 snap.
They're sturdier than a snap, but not permanent like a rivet.
Yeah.
Okay. And once again, with those, you just punch the same size. So you get, I think most of them are 1/4 inch wide. Is the diameter on the Chicago screws is a 1/4 inch?
Yeah, or a little bit less, maybe 3/16.
Okay. I think like the holes that we have in our dies to where we click the turnbacks for belts, I think it's a 1/4 inch hole.
Could be.
To put the Chicago screw into, and then you just screw it up. Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult in having like a poundo surface or something that's a little bit grippy that you can push the belt onto and then screw into something that's going to grip the top head of the screw because usually they're smooth.
And they'll want to. The people that designed them must be tiny. Have little bitty fingers, you know.
Yeah.
Because you talk about fat fingering your phone, you really fat finger those Chicago screws.
But yeah, so that is a non-permanent but very sturdy fixture. Or if you have a situation where you want to use the screw and you're worried that it might back out, you can put a little Loctite in there, and then if the person really wants it, they can probably break it, you know, with enough friction to get that screw out, but you can still make it mostly permanent.
Super glue or fingernail polish works good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little clear fingernail polish. My mom uses fingernail polish for everything. The woman is wild.
Okay. Let's set a line 20 snap.
Yeah, there's this lady that keeps bringing in a Chicago screw plier holder thing, and we've never pulled the trigger, but I think they like 3D print these pliers that hold everything in place and then allow you, that's got like a little rubber washer on one side that allows you to tighten the screw down, and I've got a couple of them floating around here.
And the Chicago screws always, it seems like they always have just a slotted head on them.
Yeah.
I think if someone would engineer a Phillips head on them, would make life a little easier too. All right, here's a line 20 snap, which is pretty small. I don't know why I put it on this double.
We use line 20s on belts, so just a single ply turn back. We use a line 20. They're really good for bracelets. Let's see, I think they're like a medium duty, so like the line 24 is the same style as what we're about to do, but it's a heavier duty snap. These are a little bit of a lighter duty, but not as light as like the Sigma snaps, which you also see used on jewelry and like bracelets, or sometimes maybe on a jacket sleeve, possibly like a leather coat.
Okay, there are 4 parts to these line 24s or line 20s. There's a, what would you call this? The stud?
That's the post.
The post. And then
The
there's
socket.
yes, this is the female part of the socket.
No, that is the socket, because this is the stud and this is the
Okay.
cap, and you have them backwards. This
All
goes
right.
on the post. I mean, I guess it doesn't technically matter,
It doesn't.
but this one goes on here.
Okay. Thank you.
The post and the stud go together, and the cap and the socket go together.
Okay. And it uses a little bitty setter like this.
And these are specific. A line 20 setter won't work on a line 24. A line 24 won't work on a line 20. You have to have the right setter for the right snap.
And there again, the length of the post through the leather is pretty important.
Yep.
You know, if you have more than a 1/16 to an 1/8, you're gonna have problems. If it's too long, take it to the grinder.
Yep. I know we sold short snaps for a while, but we have switched snap vendors, and so the short posts have been a little bit more difficult to come by. We are working on alleviating that, because we do know, especially for the line 24s, it's nice to have a short post option.
Yeah. Let me see
You're
if I
this
can
way.
get this where you,
You wanna go to the
can
top, Tony?
actually see it. Yeah. You can see inside there where it actually mushroomed that over.
Yeah, and you should be able to see all the way through this side, because the post has a hole that comes all the way up through. So ideally, you should see daylight, which we do. If you don't see daylight, that means that your stud and your post have shifted, and that's not ideal.
Okay. Now
Are you gonna be able to snap that together?
we'll see.
Okay. Well, sometimes I set them too close and then I can't snap it.
We'll see.
Oh, and Denny didn't even care to put an anvil under that.
Nope.
He just smashed her flat.
I smashed it flat.
That's okay.
That's the way I set them. And there again, we've mushroomed over. All right, let's see here.
Sometimes on the first couple snaps for the line 20 and 24, you have to kind of work out that spring. So inside the socket, there's a spring
Yeah,
just that sits right in that little raceway.
yeah.
And it's tight at first, because that's how you want it to be. And then it'll kind of loosen up with
Yeah.
a couple snap sessions. So sometimes I like to walk it in from one side to the other.
Yeah. That holds pretty good though.
Yeah, I like line 20s and line 24s. It's a good snap. You guys heard that? No? Oh, yeah. It just went. See, now it's good. So,
Okay. Let me put these up. Let's try a line 24.
if you want a finish side on both sides, so say for whatever reason, both will be out facing or whatever, you can use the cap also for the post.
Yeah.
That just means that you're going to go through your snaps faster.
Or if it's going to be hidden like on a belt keeper, a belt turn back.
Oh, you can use post for both.
That you're using a metal keeper. and you don't have much room, you can use this side on both sides.
I've seen, Denny did that on my belt. So this is the outward facing, so that then the strap has enough room to slide in, because this takes up too much space.
Yeah.
So, or you can house this between two pieces.
Right.
You know, and so you don't have this bubble going on if you were to need to set the snap
like on
inside something.
A bag flap or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They probably don't tell you that in the instructions, right?
Oh no, that's just, you have to watch us.
We're giving you instructions right now.
We're giving you the extra special tips and tricks.
Okay, now I'm going to use a line 24 short, because we do have shorts in the line 24s.
We have some. We really, I think, what was it, Tony? We only have the posts.
I think so.
We only have we've been going through our short stock. We used to buy snaps in bulk, by the thousands each piece, and then build our own packs. But we've gone away from that, and now we buy most of it pre-packaged, ready to go. I did help a gentleman that needed some short line 24 posts. I was able to get him some, and then he could just use them. But probably mostly after this video, we will not have shorts available. But you can still take them to your grinder. So you can take these posts to your little sander out in your garage, and you can grind them down to the right length if you so need. And maybe, hopefully, one day we'll get short snaps back.
This might be too short. We're going to find out here.
Oh yeah, you barely got anything.
We're gonna see.
Okay.
Yep. See, that's not going to work. So I would have to use the regular, which I will do.
Which we have.
Oh.
Guys, I was packaging rivets yesterday, and my jacket sleeve caught on the side of the bag, and I spilled like a half a bag of caps
My
of
like
rivets.
second week here,
I was very
I
sad.
spilled the whole bag over in the West Wing, and Stacy walks by as I'm cleaning up. He goes, "Man, that sucks." He keeps walking.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I should sweep the floor before I do this.
All right. This is a regular length. As you see here, I've got good.
Very nice. 16th.
Yeah, there's plenty there.
That's right. You have this one right here.
Okay.
Oh, you got it.
I got one too.
Okay.
And this is a different setter that we're using too for this one. It's a bigger setter.
It's a line 24.
Yeah. And it mushroomed that over nicely.
We actually have some new line 20 and 24 setters that kind of have like this fat handle, and then they both come with an anvil that like holds both the post and the cap really nice in place. And they have a lip. So you have like this nipple that comes out there, and then you have just this flat surface where it is mushrooming out
Yeah,
the metal.
It just makes it.
On these new ones, there's a little bit of lip on this outside here, which forces it back down, and it curls. And it's like the perfect set every time. And I think they're like $12 per setter. We had them on sale during the crazy days. If you pick them up, those are my favorite setters.
I haven't seen them. I'll need to.
They're very nice. They're very nice. They almost like, even if your post is a little too long, because of that extra like ridge that forces it back down, you almost get a perfect roll every single time. All right. She's set.
And they're pretty.
Yeah.
They're shiny. You know, crows like them.
So this is your line 20 cap, which is a 1/2 inch diameter, and then this one is a
24.
a 24, and I think it's like a, let's see, our 1/2 inch is 8/16. So I think it's like a 9/16 for your line 20, because it looks like it would be a little bit bigger, but just that 1/16 of an inch all the way around. I believe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I probably have a ruler, but
Okay, what else have I got there?
All right, we got, okay, let's keep going with the snaps. So we have glove snaps. Glove snaps or bar snaps. So that's,
Those are about, that's about the extent of the snaps that we carry anymore, isn't it?
it is.
Gloves, don't you said?
Yeah, glove slash spring. What's here? So these are a 12.5 millimeter glove snap.
And there's 4 parts to them also.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to take these out of inventory.
Okay. These you have to be a little bit delicate with. So there's your cap. Okay, and then that one.
Yeah.
All right, so with this 12.5 millimeter, so the 12.5 millimeter is your cap size, diameter. And then this is your post. So this post looks like a rivet post. So this is, once again, not one that you can trim. So that post comes up and it's got a little bit of a crimp right there. And then you have your stud, which has extra plastic on it. So this piece is completely different than our other one.
That looks like the part to the jeans.
Yeah. And then that like clips on. With these, you have to be pretty precise about your leather thickness.
Yeah, these are for a lightweight leather.
Yeah.
They don't work on a heavyweight leather like this 9 to 10 ounce or what.
And then your setters, instead of just one setter, you have 2. So you have this one that kind of looks like the line 20 and 24, but it's super small. And then it's going to wiggle in between these 2 springs. And you have to be really careful when it comes to these springs that you don't damage them. Yeah, because that's what holds it all together. It's kind of hard to see, guys. It's very small. So there's these 2 little springs that run parallel to each other.
Right there. You can see the little rubber.
Yeah. So they're running, you have to not, so sometimes what I like to do when it comes to this is I will like wiggle this in between. Cause you want to spread out those things. And then, yeah,
Springs.
those springs. And then just kind of, cause sometimes if you start it to where this post is outside, then you'll just damage the spring when you go to set it.
Yeah.
All right, you go.
Okay, and it also has a domed anvil, which you do need to use on this. So we'll set this side for, well, I probably ought to put it into a piece of leather, don't you think?
Probably. Did you find those setters that I was talking about, Tony?
I posted it, yeah.
Premium. Perfect. I love those setters. We had it in the line 24 for a long time, and the handle was like this little tiny dude like this, and all the men complained that they were going to hit their hands when they were holding it. And so we had a line 20 made, and
Hammer better, bro.
they made it nice and long for us.
All right.
You tell them to suck less, Liz?
Sure.
No? It's not the customer service in the next week.
Can you go to the other camera?
Sure. I'm just busy over
I
here
think I got lucky there.
packaging.
Multi-tap.
Surfing the interwebs for Michael.
All right.
Did you get it?
I believe so.
Paperwork,
That looks
card
pretty
right,
good.
Listening.
So, and on this one, you kind of need 2 different sizes of, do you think you need 2 different sizes of hole punch? Maybe not.
I just used one.
Yeah, that's probably okay.
Getting ready to find out.
I was thinking on a couple of them, oh, like this is a good example. So this is, let's see, this was a glove snap. This is called a spring snap, but I think we discontinued all these. But I just for reference, this is the post.
I can't see that.
So you have the post, which has a pretty wide,
Yeah, it's a pretty good size diameter.
yeah, and then this is your cap, which is quite a bit smaller. So for this one, I would try to use like 2 different size punches, once again, so you can have like as tight of a fit as possible. Just because they're just so delicate.
And I didn't bring in it. Well, you've got a rotary punch in there.
Yeah.
We can use.
So
Which should be in soon.
Works pretty good.
that's a pretty good one.
I like it.
So this would be good for bracelets. Oh yeah, that is pretty nice.
Clutches, little.
So I think we have this in a 12.5 and a 10, Tony.
Alright, sure. Was I supposed to check?
I don't know. I do think that we carry the glove snap in a 12.5 millimeter and a 10 millimeter diameter. Okay, thank you.
I've packaged enough of them.
All right.
On a little wallet thing you could
So.
use those for. Checkbook.
Yeah. Yeah, so like if you still have like the little coin pouch in your wallet, this would be a good snap for that. Or the little, I think the 10 millimeter would be a good option. You know, if you had like the little picture holder, like the little thing.
Right.
What was
Right.
that? What did we call that?
I don't remember.
Pass case. We called it a pass case.
Yes, a pass case.
In the long time, I don't think we make that wallet interior anymore, but
The snap on that one's much easier to pull apart than a line 24 or a line 20.
Yeah.
yeah.
This one's pretty
I was gonna say,
solid.
that's pretty good.
It's
But I
pretty
mean, it's
good.
easier than a.
Pretty good feeling snap,
Yeah.
actually.
You just got to make sure that you don't harm those springs. Otherwise, it would not be a good snap.
Yeah.
Sometimes we smash out those 24s. They're hard to get apart.
Yeah.
What's up next?
All right.
Let's do some grommets and eyelets. How's that
What's the
sound?
difference between a grommet and an eyelet, William?
One's bigger than the other.
Grommets tend to come with washers. Eyelets usually don't have a washer.
Yeah.
Just round that wheel and over.
Yeah. Otherwise, they look the same, except
Okay. Let's try an eyelet first.
for. Okay. And what would you use this for, Denny?
To tell you the truth, I would avoid an eyelet if I could and use a grommet.
Yeah.
But an eyelet, you will see a lot of them, like on shoes.
That hole where you put your lace
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Corsets.
Or like if you've got jacket sleeves that are split and you crisscross lace them, you could use eyelets there.
Yeah.
And,
just-
in a lot of different places.
They
leather
reinforce
jacket.
a hole.
The leather jacket that Mark makes, that he made for me, like a sweat hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just reinforces a hole that you have in a piece of leather. It kind of finishes it out. So if you're putting holes in your leather for whatever reason, and either you're running laces through it and you don't want it to stretch out, like that's a good spot for an eyelet. Grommets are a harder working. So like a lot of times, you'll see them on like tarps, on the edges of tarps. And like fabric is where you see a lot of grommets, because if you just punch a hole in fabric, it's just going to fray out everywhere. So you do need to reinforce that. And you want to do that with something that has a washer. Otherwise, it's just going to pull out of a piece of fabric.
Okay. I've got some 5/16 eyelets here, and I've also got some 5/16 grommets. So let's set one of each,
Okay.
or a couple of each, maybe. And there again, this, with the thickness of your leather is pretty.
Important.
You can't use it on real thick leather.
Yeah, the posts on most of these are pretty short. I do think we sell a holster grommet that has an extra long post.
Yeah.
Or a holster eyelet. I'm sorry, that's not a grommet.
Okay, I'm going to do an eyelet here first.
Okay. We didn't bring any locks clasps in, Michael. Those you just punch a hole in your leather and then you take the key and you screw the two pieces together.
And we sell a universal eyelet setter, but I'm going to use this
The Osborne grommet setter.
Osborne grommet setter.
I love the Osborne grommet setters. They are kind of expensive, but if you're using, they just set it so nicely.
Yeah, they're definite.
And now, once again, these setters are very specific to the size of grommet or eyelet that you're using.
This is about as thick a leather as they'll accept.
That's 9 ounces.
Yeah. But if you see here on the back, let me show you one before I set it. It's just really sharp. Well, you can't really see it, but
It's just a tube.
Pretty sharp. Yeah, it's just a tube, but it rolls that edge over, mushrooms it over.
Yeah. Yeah, these Osborne grommet setters are fantastic. So they come, I think a 1/4 inch is the smallest of these that we carry, and our eyelets do get smaller than that. So if you do, we have a couple smaller versions for some of your eyelets for a setter combo. But if you're doing anything a 1/4 of an inch or above, I highly recommend the Osborne grommet setters.
Yeah, you will like it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's set an eyelet.
The grommet.
A grommet, yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Oh, there's a lot of worries. That's all there is to that. But if you'll see, it looks similar front and back.
Mm-hmm. The grommet is a little bit wider diameter overall for your for the flange here.
Yeah.
The grommet is a little bit wider. It kind of comes out to a flat one, so it seats in a little bit. I don't know, or whatever. And then you've got the washer on the back, where this one you don't have one.
Yeah, this is a little more permanent. If you're wanting something real permanent, I would use it, because these can pull through over a period of time if they get worked quite a bit.
Yeah. You want to set just a tiny eyelet?
Yeah. Let's do
Let's see, what size do you got here? We've got the 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. You might need a thinner piece. Might work. So this is setting it using just an eyelet setter.
Let me see here. Make sure I use the right size punch.
With the locks clasp, the only thing that I found that makes them difficult, like your leather really needs to be pretty darn thin. I put one on my clutch that I took to the World Leather Debut, and I almost could not get, because I put like a split in the front to reinforce my two leathers a little bit. Like I put a plug between, you know, like a welt throughout the top of it. And I had to waller out and waller out and waller out the back of that so I could get the screw to catch on to the post. So just thickness is the biggest issue. It really needs to be quite thin. Maybe like 4 or 5 ounce, I think, at the most, to get those two parts to connect.
6, 7 is too much. 6, 7.
Got me.
Hole size is fairly important,
Yes.
and I don't have the right size punch. Here, let me try this.
You could show them what not to do.
I will. I imagine that's what's going to happen. Nah, this is just right. Just right. All right. All right, and this is an eyelet.
So that setter really doesn't roll it as much as the Osborne one does.
It works.
I mean, it's in there.
You know what?
You have a little bit of kind of a lip happening on the inside.
Yeah.
There's just something about how this, like, this goes all the way through the hole. And so it prevents the metal from smashing in on itself.
You know, if everyone doesn't want to spend any more money than they have to, and if you don't have enough to buy one of these good Osborne ones, this will work.
Yeah.
But eventually, if you're going to set very many, you'll want the Osborne
Yeah.
setters. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
There's a reason that they're $30 instead of like
Yeah.
probably 10 or 12 or something like that.
But the reason why you're gonna need to have the right tool for the job to not hate yourself.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you can only buy one tool at a time sometimes.
That is true.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Pick your battle.
yeah.
Invest back into your business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I think we said all the things.
I think we've done everything we can do.
Look at us go.
Look how we went.
Now we're
And right at an hour. Good job.
We did.
Is it?
12:01.
right.
Aw, snap.
All right.
Hold on. I have an outro that I need to read to you guys.
Oh,
Hold, please.
is this from Ryan?
This is my new outro that has been requested by a source that
Your
will
outro.
remain anonymous. That'll put some hair on your leather. And remember to keep your grain tight.
See ya.
Bye.
All right.